Hello and welcome to another Pauper video. Today we're playing Lorien Revealed in Familiars. We're going real crazy. We're switching the Loriens basically for lands. For two Loriens, we're going two lands. So we're at 22 lands. We're at 19 now. And this gives us sort of an effective 23 lands, which is two more than before, as long as we have a land in our opener to use to fetch with the Lorien. And then once we have the lands in our hands and we've got them on the battlefield, we're able to use the Lorien Revealed to get our card draw on. And then we're pairing it with the Modern Age plus Deep Analysis. And I'm switching it with just two Deep Analysis here since I have the Loriens for the card draw, and I'm going to be playing one Prismatic Strands and then one Dawnbringer Cleric. This is hopefully going to make us pretty good versus red in game one. Well, we have the 4 Hydroblast in the sideboard, and then I have 3 counter spells in the main deck. I'm playing counterspell specifically over other counter type effects because Panza. People want to blow up my lands, and I don't want that to happen, so we're playing counterspell with the 4th here, and then 2 more negates to hopefully wreck Panza. I've been doing pretty decently versus them, so hopefully if we do pair versus them, then we will have ourselves set up. Otherwise, this is a relatively stock familiars list. You're going to be trying to use your Sunscape Familiar, which cost reduces your green and blue spells. We only have blue spells, but you can cost reduce a green spell. And then it makes Ghostly Flicker, Snap, Modern Age, Deep Analysis, Drifter, Lorien, Arcane-Mancer. All these things are going to cost less mana, and we're going to be able to spam our deck and overpower our opponent. We use our Ephemerate loops to get back our counters and our snaps and whatnot, and push the Mold Drifter. Then we also have our Godfarhouse Faithfuls to gain life and stall out the game. So familiars, I like to say, is Turbo Dirtle. We're going to set up our defense and then win the game eventually with our flying attackers of Modern Age and Mold Drifter. I decided not to play Sage's Road Denizen in this deck because I think it's better to have the power game 1 versus something like Panza. But I think in this list, if you wanted to switch it would probably be for the Dawnbringer Cleric. I don't know if that's useful to have right now, or if we should keep the Dawnbringer. We're just going to go with it as is. Hopefully we don't run into any stupid timeout battles, but we'll see. If you are enjoying this, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/CawGate, where I've got a bunch of information about familiars, or join the familiars Discord, which is linked in my Twitter and in the video description. And hit me up with a like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the matches. Alright, it seems like Magic Online is actually chugging quite a bit on my computer, so we're just going to bring in Sage Road Denizen for time purposes, and now I'll see you in the matches. Alright, we're here in round 1 versus Baladin, who likes to play mono red lately. I'm going to keep this because we have double familiar. I also have a preordain. Not mono red, black deck, huh? Let's lead on Floodplain. Might need to preordain first. So if that's the case, I probably should have led with that. So they're on the Gardens deck, which means that I would like to have this combo. I'll lead on Island into preordain, so if we draw a Faithful, we can play it. Snap and a land. I guess I'll top both. Play the preordain. Okay, bottom the land, top the other one. Now we're out of card velocity, which isn't great, but oh well. Crypt Rats. Play familiar. Go ahead and snap the rats. Tap these. Just play our Sage right now. Could have like some removal spells or something. They play a Bajuka Bog immediately. Okay. Plays the rats. Let's go for that Drifter. Evoke. And then save targets here. Alright, no, they're probably gonna use the Crypt Rats next turn and make us lose our Ephemerate. We can't actually do anything with the Lorien right now or anything else, so let's just play the Chancery. This up and attack. We still have Sunscape Familiar, Lorien, and Deep Analysis to draw cards with. They're kind of priced into actually using the rats right now. Right there's the Crypt Rats. Everything's dead. We're gonna lose our Ephemerate. You probably just play out the Lorien Revealed on the next turn to draw 3. You can discard the Prismatic Strands and stuff. Looks like they're gonna try to hit us for 5, which is weird. Or are they gonna use the Lembus? Okay, they Deadly Dispute the Crypt Rats. That makes sense. So now they have green mana for their Avenging Hunter. They already put one Avenging Hunter in the graveyard. I don't know how many they're playing. Say no to this. We're looking for a counterspell. You don't find counterspell, so play Island, draw 3, discard the Barons. Now we have counterspell up. Let's see if it's too late. Yep, sad. Okay, they have the Avenging Hunter. Grabbing the initiative. Definitely stinks for us. Snap would be pretty good, actually. I missed on Snap. They have 6 mana. They're probably going to have a removal spell. They already have the Chainer's Edict here. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to play Familiar into Mulldrifter. Use our mana. Can't believe we're flooding out. We have 19 lands. That's crazy. Pretty wild. So if by some chance we take the initiative back, we have Strands to keep it, and we have Counterspell. I doubt that we're going to be able to take it, though. We take 7 and go to 10. Can't do anything about it. They play a Lembus. Scry top. Draw a card. They Chainer's Edict us, so we'll lose the Familiar. Chainer's Edict us again. Preordained looking for a snap. Find a Faithful. So we can go Modern Age into Faithful, discarding the Strands. They have another Chainer's Edict, so we can't really use the Strands. Well, we can counterspell the Chainer's Edict. So top, play the Modern Age, and then we're going to discard. So we can discard the Floodplain or the tap land. If we discard, it doesn't really matter. So I guess I'm discarding the tap land, or the Ash Barrens. Well, maybe I should just discard the island and cycle the Ash Barrens. I'm going to have to use the counterspell anyway, though. So we'll discard the Ash Barrens, play the Floodplain, play the Godpharaoh's Faithful. Oh, already messed up. Okay, never mind. I wanted to discard the Prismatic Strands. Okay, whatever. That's my fault. My fault. Because I was going to try to use the Strands to block the Avenging Hunter. Whatever. Whoopsies. So let's get rid of the Prismatic Strands, bring in a Revoke Resistance, and the Counterspell. Cut a Snap. Actually, let's get rid of the Sage Row, because I don't think we really need it. We're just going to Counterspell lock them, bring back the Snap. Revoke Resistance for Relic. We just need to Counterspell all the Avenging Hunters and Crypt Rats. Alright, we're on the play. Land, cycle, familiar. Let's just start doing stuff immediately. I played the wrong land. Easy. I misclicked. I meant to get the island, or play the island. Play familiar. Pass the turn. If they don't have anything, we can go land into Deep Analysis. Sweet. Just start drawing cards as fast as possible. Probably discard a Chainer's Edict or something. They discard a Blood Fountain. Whatever. We're going to draw some cards. And pass the turn. We play a Colony Garden again. And nothing. We don't want to get got by the Crypt Rats. Let's draw 2 first. Right, land, Faithful. Now we have Counterspell, which is great. We can counter Crypt Rats, we can counter Avenging Hunter, Deadly Dispute. I think our priority is to counterspell the Avenging Hunter. There's a Nile Spellbomb. Okay. No more Visionary. So if we counterspell this right now, they're pretty far behind. Well, they might have a land drop though. There, I'm just gonna counter this right now. Hopefully they don't have a land drop. Pass the turn. Yeah, they don't. Okay, great. Play familiar. Chancery. Turning this. Play out the Modern Age. And then we can go ahead and discard a card. And we're going to discard the plains. We have 2 plains now. Alright, pass the turn. Somehow we are flooding out with 19 lands and 2 Loriens. So in this next turn we're going to just play out the Lorien Revealed. They're going to Reckoner's Bargain their creature. They're whiffing on lands again. Perfect. Perfecto. Oh, they play a Colony Garden. Okay, so they could potentially have the Avenging Hunter this coming turn. Find a Mole Drifter. We can discard the Deep Analysis and then draw 2. See what we see. Looking for... Alright, let's play the land. I say we're looking for Counterspell. Cast the Mole Drifter. The Ghostly Flicker we cannot play until we have the Archaeomancer to like force through. Alright, we're gonna pass the turn and then discard 1 Chancery. Probably could have preordained actually, since I wasn't gonna flicker. They play a Crypt Rats. Okay, but they only have 1 black mana right now. Now they have 2 black mana. Okay. Pass the turn. We're looking for a snap for the Crypt Rats. So we flip our thing, preordain, looking for a snap. Bottom and bottom. We find a counterspell. Preordain again. Bottom again. And a floodplain, which doesn't do anything. It helps us from discarding the hand size though. Play the floodplain. Let's pass the turn and attack with the Mole Drifter. And then let's see if they go for Avenging Hunter, because we've got the counterspell right now. They could wipe the board except for the Faithful with Crypt Rats. Alright, we're going to draw a counterspell. Alright, send. Okay, they're going to take it. 2, 3. We can draw 3 cards right now. Play Lorien. Play the Lorien and draw 3 cards. So we only have 1 counterspell up. Still kind of looking for a snap. They didn't want to use the wipe at the moment. Play the Faithful. Chancery. Pick up the plains. Attempt to snap the Crypt Rats. Now they're going to blow it. Alright. We've got the Mire to try to get back the familiars. And we have our counter spells, which don't need to be cost reduced, obviously. So now they kill all of our familiars and flyers. We still have a lot of things. We get to pass the turn. It's just very important to make sure they don't have Avenging Hunter. That's really all that matters. We could also cycle the Lorien, but I think I need to just cast it, draw more cards. We play a Swamp. Go for the Avenging Hunter. Boom, counterspell. Get out of here. Not in my house. Alright, no possible play Yieldall. Not in my house. Okay, so we can revoke existence to Spellbomb, or just play the Mortuary Mire to get back the familiar. I think I'm just going to go Mire for familiar. They're going to crack the Spellbomb. Always yield to this. There's like no way they don't crack it. But if they don't crack the Spellbomb, it's actually really good for me, because I can revoke and then play the Archaeomancer for the revoke. Or just revoke and pass. Alright. Now they crack it. We're going to draw a card. Yep. And we're going to play the Archaeomancer to get the revoke back. Pass the turn. So we're going to be drawing a familiar, playing the familiar, and then casting Lorien Revealed. The only thing that we can do this turn is hold up Counterspell for an Avenging Hunter. Crypt Rats is annoying. I think I'm going to Counterspell it. So if they cast the Avenging Hunter now, it would be terrible as well. But, you know, we also can't let them wipe our board again. What is Annihilating Glare? Pay 4, sacrifice a creature, destroy target creature or planeswalker. Okay. Sunscape. 2. Draw some cards. That's pretty bad. Right, pass the turn. We play an Avenging Hunter. Gross. We're kind of out of action. Play Landwire Visionary. So I think I have to go for Flicker to get back the Archaeomancer, play the Archaeomancer, get the Lorien, and cast the Lorien to draw 3 instead of just relying on my top deck. Sadly. It's the turn. Get back the Archaeomancer. The Mancer. Back my draw 3. Cast it. Okay, so now we have Ephemerate. Get back the Counterspell. Preordain. Double Lorien. Okay, we'll top them. Pass the turn. So of note, if we hadn't done that, we'd have just drawn the Faithful and probably just died. Or I think Ephemerate was on top, actually. They're going for the Scry. 2 mana. Plays a Lembas. Okay. We have to just yield to this. Click the wrong yield. Wellspring. Alright. We're watching our clock. It's dwindling pretty quickly. They're at 11 life. If we can trap them a bit. Oh, the Rot Farm. So they're picking up their Bajuka Bog. Trying to get rid of our Flicker. We really need to resolve the Ephemerate for the Flicker. Okay, draw a card. Or no draw yet. We have to try to hit this Ephemerate. Ephemerate? No removal spell. So things are good at the moment. Alright, land. Ephemerate. Get back the Flicker. Gonna cast a Lorien. Draw 3 cards. Wow, nothing. Let's just cast another Faithful and then pass. We know they're gonna bog us. We'll discard this extra island here. We need to somehow get the initiative before they... Okay, they're gonna goad my Faithful. Fine. We have to be able to take the initiative before they... Oh, we have a second Mancer now. Okay. Before they get the Crypt Rats off of their Throne of the Dead 3. How many snaps have we used? 1 so far. 2 deep analysis have been used. We need to draw a snap pretty badly. Ephemerate the Archaeomancer. Get back the Ephemerate. Oh, well, we can't attack this turn anyway. Alright, go ahead and play an Archaeomancer or Muldrifter. We should be able to take the initiative soon. Familiar. Let's preordain first, in case we draw something. We're looking for snap. There's a snap and a Modern Age. Okay. Let's top both. Play the Familiar. Play the Floodplain. Play the Modern Age. We're going to discard the extra Faithful and snap their Avenging Hunter. Well, that probably doesn't matter. We can just snap our own Faithful. Because we don't care about the Avenging Hunter attacks and we don't want them to have it in hand. Tap, untap. The Faithful. The Archaeomancer for snap. Pass the turn. We're going to be drawing a card here. 2 mana, they Deadly Dispute the Wellspring. That's a lot of cards they're going to draw. We're going to go up to 9 cards in hand. The thing I'm only focusing on right now is trying to counterspell the Crypt Rats. Let's ephemerate, I guess. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pass down again. Snap your Avenging Hunter. Okay, that resolved. Flicker. Alright, looks like they're out of removal spells. Draw more cards. Okay, they scoop it up. Perfect. What a tough matchup. Especially when we're lagging like crazy. I don't understand why we're lagging so much. It's possible that we don't need the 4th Faithful here, since this is a mid-range matchup. And cut one of those for a negate. Alright, that should be fine. So is this good enough? We have Faithful into Modern Age, Arcane-Mancer, Ephemerate. They're keeping 7. I think I'm going to keep. And also snap their Colony Garden so that they can't Deadly Dispute it. They Edict me. Okay, that guy's down. Let's snap this so they can't Edict. They can't Deadly Dispute it. Untap, untap. Play Modern Age. Can discard a card. Darn. I think I'm going to discard the Arcane-Mancer. Bog would be pretty bad. Plays a Lembas. We're just trying to get out ahead of their Avenging Hunter yet again. They bog away my Arcane-Mancer. Not unexpected. Draw. Looks like we're discarding the land here. Play the Chancery. Pass the turn, picking up the plains. Let's pass again. They play a Llanowar. That means they have mana for casting Avenging Hunter next turn. Okay. Draw. We have a snap. So I'm gonna just snap their Visionary. Actually, I think I'm going to Drifter Ephemerate, and then if they go for the Avenging Hunter, we can snap it. Get a bunch of cards. Now we have 2 flyers. So if they want to Avenging Hunter, they have to have double free counter spell. They can also just go for a kill spell on Mimble Drifter. Duress. Checks out the counter spell and the flicker. They take the snap. Play Avenging Hunter. Okay. They only have 3 unknowns in hand because they just picked up a swamp. We're gonna Ephemerate, looking for that second snap, I guess. Find a Faithful. You can play Faithful. Play a land. And I can attack. So we get a land out of our deck. Grabbing an island. Pass the turn. Discard a plains. Kind of assume they're going to attack with all. 2 mana. Chainer's Edict. Okay, I will lose the Vector Glider, I guess. So they're going to swing with all. We're going to block. Big 5. The initiative. So where are they going to put the counters, though? On their 2/2. So we can put our counters on our Godfar's Faithful and make it ginormous. That's a good blocker. Got a Colony Garden. Draw. Maybe a Familiar would be good. Modern Age. Play a land. Swing out. Right? Then we're going to put the counters on our Faithful. Forge the Faithful. So now we have a blocker for their trampling 5/4. Play the Modern Age. And then yield to my trigger, obviously. We're going to draw. Discard a land. Pass the turn. They deadly dispute their plant. So should I counterspell this? They're at 2 cards in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to flicker the Muldrifter. Counterspell the Deadly Dispute. So there's a likelihood that they can bog and we'll lose our flicker. I'm going to go block. Oh, Crypt Rats would hose us right now. So I think I got outplayed. Whoops. 2 cards in hand. Painter's Edict. Sacrifice the Mulldrifter. Discard the floodplain. Attack. Trap you. We have Arcanemancer. We can get Snap. We can Ephemerate for Counterspell. 1, 2, 3, 4. Arcanemancer. The Snap. They're gonna scoop to that? Yeah, sweet. On round 2. We're here on the play versus NSG. We have nothing going on fast. Floodplain. I don't know what they're up to. This is not very good versus red. Any mid-range deck, this is fine. We can evoke Mulldrifter on turn 3. I just feel like we need something to do earlier. Dang, I should have kept. Unknown player usually means mono red. Moving again. Okay, we're just gonna mulligan to infinity. Keep. Gonna get rid of Familiar. Lorien. I guess get rid of the 2 familiars. This stinks. Maybe the Lorien's too slow. Island? Whatever. What a terrible, terrible turn of events. You got greedy with trying to mulligan for better stuff and then just die. Mono red. Alright. I was right. Okay. So at a minimum, we can play the familiar. They have to bolt it. If they do, we Modern Age pitch deep analysis. That saves us 3 life. We have a counterspell now. I'm gonna hold up counterspell for a pinger creature. Or a Swift Spear. Counterspell. Donk. Now we play Modern Age. Discard the deep analysis. Or we can discard the land. Let's discard the land for now. Play the island. Pass the turn. This again. They play a land and another creature. Scary. We have a familiar. An Arcanemancer. We're going to discard the deep analysis. Play the familiar. And spam it on ourselves. Probably block with the familiar. I guess I'm not blocking this turn. They're chain lightning the familiar anyway. We didn't have any decisions to make. Ren's Resolve. Draw some cards. Finds a Searing Blaze. So they're going to be able to Searing Blaze my creature next turn. Cast another Ren's Resolve. Smash in for 4. They've got End of Festivities. Reckless Impulse. Searing Blaze. We're feeling bummed. Let's cycle. For an island. Play the island and Preordain. Nothing good. Bottom as well. More Loriens. Okay. I feel dead. They want 1 card in hand, but they're going to be able to wreck my creature. I shouldn't F6. I should yield until next end step. Find a mountain so they can Searing Blaze. There's a Searing Blaze. We're going to 7. And then End the Festivities and Synthesizer kills us. All right. Or they just have a Chain Lightning in hand. Cool. No problem. I want all of my Hydroblasts. Obviously I want the Last Breaths and save those creatures. Don't want the Sage Row. Feel like Counterspell is not that great. I like cutting a Familiar and an Arcanemancer. I think we could maybe cut a Deep Analysis and an Ephemerate. Could also cut a Snap, then bring in double Negate. Because they're going to be on Raise and stuff. Just win eventually, that's the plan. Maybe the Deep Analysis isn't even good enough. Could bring in the Sunscape Familiar still. But I think we need the card draw. They're likely to bring in Pyroblast. Yes, we would like to play first. Yes, we would like to mulligan. Okay, we're going to keep this one. Get rid of the Ephemerate. And pass the turn. Well, Island, go. We can cycle for our Glacial Floodplain and a Hydroblast are nonsense. No Swift Spear, thanks. I'm off of that. Cycle for a Plains Island. Play it. We go Reckless Impulse. Okay. Synthesizer and a Rends Resolve. We play Faithful and we pass the turn. So the question is, do I want to Hydroblast their Synthesizer? I think no. We find a Swifty and a Rends Resolve. So they have to cast the Swift Spear or the Rends Resolve here, and they're both going to go away. We'll just Hydroblast whatever it is. Counterspell. Okay, we find a Last Breath. I'm going to pass. We have no lands. I don't know. We need to get the Modern Age out. Just holding up my negate at the moment. Rends Resolve. We're going to negate. Countering all their card draw spells. They play nothing. We find Faithful into Preordain. Boom. Looking for lands, I guess. Our Chancery is probably our best land right now. Ash Baron's Faithful. I guess top and top. Play the Ash Barons. Pass the turn. Let's see what they're up to. 5 lands. Searing Blaze into Searing Blaze. Lava Dart. Okay. Just going to take out all my stuff. Use all of your mana to kill my creatures. All of your... So those... What was that? We just gained 8 life off of those. Faithful into Modern Age. Discard the Last Breath. Pass the turn. I guess I probably do need the Deep Analysis post board because the Deep Analysis would allow me to have it something to discard. And they have land in hand. It's funny how the burn deck just keeps running their lands. Okay, draw, we find a negate and a Hydroblast. Guess we discard the Faithful, destroy this, pass the turn. I think we can afford to take 2 from the Samurai this turn. They play a land. Well, now they just have 1 card in hand. Okay. Alright, just kind of chill now. What do you got, opponent? 2 mana for Thermo Alchemist. We draw Lorien Revealed. Cycle for the Plains Island. Play it. And I'm going to pass. They're going to do nothing. Probably start pinging us with the Thermo Alchemist soon. Okay, we have Mortuary Mire that doesn't get us back anything good. Just gets us back to Faithful. Don't think I want the Faithful right now. I guess I just play the Mortuary Mire then. Let's say no. Pass the turn. Maybe I should be attacking, trying to close the game out. They ping us. I'm looking for an Archaeum answer. Swift Spear. Okay. Pings us again. We're at 21. Plays a land. No attacks. Searing Blaze gets countered. Not today. They're at 0 cards in hand. We're at 1 card in hand with the snap. We can't really do anything, but they've decided that that's enough and scoop it up. What were we going to draw? Preordain into nothing, nothing, Last Breath. So we could have killed the Thermo Alchemist with that. It seemed like it worked out okay. Possibly the counter spell is not as good as the snap on the draw. Yeah, counter spell is kind of expensive on the draw. Snap back in. Submit. Okay, we have a couple good plays here. Land Hydroblast. We can also cycle for our blue white land. Pass the turn. We're going to Hydroblast a Flame Breather. Synthesizer. Interesting. They're just looking for a land. They whiff. They find the land anyway. Cycle. Lorien seems pretty decent in familiars, that's gotta say. Floodplain, pass the turn. So their synthesizer is basically just there to use as a card draw engine instead of like for Coldilithus and stuff. They play another synthesizer and a mountain and nothing. Let's cycle for an island. Wonder if they have a raise or something. They don't seem to have it right now. Alright, we're gonna go Faithful into Preordain. The good stuff. If we find another island, next turn we can go Familiar into Modern Age and hold up the Hydroblast. Okay, there's another island. Do I want the other Familiar right now? I don't think I want the other Familiar right now. Put the Lorien on top. See what happens. They didn't spam any burn spells or anything. Looks like they played a land. Plays a Flame Breather. We're gonna Hydro it. They Reckless Impulse into Swift Spear, Ren's Resolve. Find a negate. So I can island cycle for an island, and then play that, lay out the Familiar, holding up negate. And I'll just plan on negating the Ren's Resolve, or if they go for a bolt on the Familiar, I'll counter that. Just using my mana. Swift Spear, 4 cards in hand, a Ren's Resolve in the exile, counter the Ren's Resolve, go to 23. Probably bolt the Familiar right now. If they just get in for 2, I'm not going to do anything, because I can untap and draw 4 off the Deep Analysis, which would be a lot better than just going Modern Age plus Deep Analysis. Gets in for 2, no blocks. They go Bolt on Familiar. I think I'm going to just straight up Deep Analysis here. Okay, Chancery picking up Island. We can use the Snap to get rid of one of their tokens. Snapping the Monastery Swift Spear is not that great. Snapping the Chanter is alright. Play a land, 2 cards in hand. Probably play the Forge Chanter this turn. Lightning Bolt you, or Lightning Bolt the Faithful. I'll leave a Lava Dart. Alright. So we need more Faithfuls now. Gets in. Let's lead on Modern Age. They have no cards in hand right now, but they do have a Lava Dart in the graveyard. Discard this Plains. Play a Faithful. And then let's draw 2. Play Chancery. Picking up the island. I'm not playing around Raise anymore. So on this next turn, they're going to go Reckless Impulse. Make that a 2/3. They just find 2 mountains. They have 1 card in hand. Plays a Forge Chanter. Mountain in the exile zone. Plays a Chain Lightning on the Faithful. So now they're going to Lava Dart the Faithful. Okay. We can Archaeomancer and then Hydroblast the Swift Spear and then Ephemerate for the Hydroblast. Discard the island. Mortuary Mire, get back the Faithful. Yes. Snap this thing. Paying 2 life, huh? I'm gonna say yes. Yes, pay the 2 life. Untap. Play Archaeomancer. Get Hydroblast. Pass the turn. They crack their synth. They find a mountain. Alright, so they're falling apart here. We're gonna block. They have nothing. So what do I want to get back? Let's Ephemerate, getting back the negate, and then Hydroblast. Donk. Okay. I think we win. We win the match. On to round 3. Round 3 versus Alessandro. We are on the play. So we have an island. We have the Familiar. I think we play the Floodplain, and this is fine-ish. Keep it Preordain. Good luck, have fun. Probably means land destruction. Floodplain go. Is that jaded for me of me to say? Probably not. I assume they're on land destruction. Green-black. Foretells a card, so that's probably a pack mate. Let's cycle for an island. And then we can go ahead and cast our Preordain and look what's on top. Looking for counterspells probably. Snap and an island. Well, the island we don't want. Could take the snap. Pass. Let's see if they play a pack mate. Yep, okay. Do they have a land? Got a Rot Farm. We're not that worried about a 3/3. I think I need to just play out the Chancery. Hopefully they're not a land destruction deck. It looks more like a mid-rangey thing. And we're going to get rid of the plains. So now, let's see what they do. But we have Familiar into Snap, into play Arcane Answer for Snap again, into play Muldrift or Lorien or whatever. Lots going on. We're just setting up still. 4 mana. 3 mana. 4 mana. Plays a Thorn of the Black Rose. Okay. Alright, so play Familiar. Snap this. Tap. Play Arcane Answer. Get back to Snap. Go for Snap on their Packmate. And then we're going to go Drifter Ephemerate. We should be able to attack them next turn to take the Monarchy. And there are 8 cards in hand, so they're going to have to discard in hand size. Ephemerate this. They don't have the Snuff out, so we're looking pretty at the moment. It was quite a turn. Storm 6, baby. For 2 mana. Let's see if they just kill both my attackers. If they don't kill the Arcane Mancer this turn, we're going to Ephemerate the Familiar, and then leave up Counterspell, and just attack. Take the Monarchy. They Bajukabog me. Do you have a removal spell? They foretell their Packmate yet again. Okay. They draw a card. We're going to rebound. Ephemerate the Familiar. And swing. Take the Monarchy. So we get to yield to that. Now the question is, what do I want to do now? I can draw 2 cards with the Deep Analysis, or I can play this Sage Roar Denizen. I think I just have to play the Deep Analysis. Okay, Faithful's great because it can block the Packmate, so now we can just... I'm going to discard the Preordain. We can block the Packmate with the Faithful, so we can focus on counterspelling their Monarch. They Bajukabog us, alright. We done got bogged. So we lost an Ephemerate and a Deep Analysis. For 3 mana, what are they going to cast? If it's Crypt Rats, I'll counter. Packmate's fine. 1 mana, 2 mana. Green-black. Foretells another Packmate. So let's cycle, grabbing an island, and we'll pass. We maintain the Monarchy, go Faithful into Familiar, play land, play Sage Roar Denizen, and pass. Draw a card. So as soon as we find the Flicker, it's game over for game 1. And our opponent gave us, we have to remind ourselves that that Good Luck Have Fun was actually a real value, not just a lot of times. I faced this one player who's on Mono Red Blitz, and they're like, "Good luck, have fun, kill you turn 2." So that, I guess I'm just scarred from that. 3 mana. I'm pretty worried about a Crypt Rat specifically. I guess I could also counter the Avenging Hunter. We play a Llanowar Visionary, which is not scary. I wonder if this is like a Gardens deck with just a little bit of a different take, playing the Packmates and things. And they go to attacks. I think they're just going to not attack because I have the Faithful blocker. Alright. Play another Packmate. So I could counter this right now. I think that's fine. Right, what do we want to do? We want to try to find the Flicker, so I guess we just start with Preordain. Preordain. Looking for a Flicker. Faithful and a familiar, so don't really need the familiar. Faithful is fine. We can play the Faithful, and then evoke the Drifter. Now we have double blockers again for the pack mates, and then go ahead and mill our opponent. So mill you 2. Rot Farm Edict. Okay, the evoke resolves. Put the Mortuary Mire and put the Muldrifter on top. And pass the turn. Draw our Muldrifter, and here we go. We have Counterspell for the Avenging Hunter, Counterspell for the Monarchy. I'm going to Counterspell the Monarchy. Just keep them off of good stuff. Pass the turn. Let's see what happens. 3 mana. Let's see if they play Crypt Rats. Another Llanowar Visionary is fine. They draw a card. And they swing out. Then they realize that I have blockers, and they unswing out. Alright. My turn. Let's lead on Muldrifter. Now we have a flying attacker. Mill them 2. Deadly Dispute Edict. Okay. And we can go Mancer for Counterspell. We can also just draw 3 cards first. Play the Modern Age. See what we see. I might just discard the other Modern Age. Discard Modern Age. Let's go Snap your plant. Tap, untap. Cast the Lorien. Draw 3 cards. We're likely to draw another counterspell. We found it. Play Faithful. Pass the turn. So now counterspell is just basically for Crypt Rats. Avenging Hunter's fine with the Muldrifter attack. And Thorn of the Black Rose also doesn't matter because we can attack with Drifter. Now they are attacking. Alright, we will block and see what they're up to. Fungal Infection, you're my guy. Okay. So that takes away our combo, but we weren't anywhere close to actually doing it. If we do draw the Flicker, we can just flicker the Mancer and the Mortuary Mire and get it back. What costs 6 mana? Looks like they're going to slam the Avenging Hunter here. I'm just going to counter it. Not interested. We didn't have to counter it, but it's probably better just to not have the emblems around. I'll just maintain the emblems, okay? They maybe could have gone Avenging Hunter in to get it basic and then play the Thorn of the Black Rose and have both emblems up. I don't know what they would be up to. Discard this. Mancer. And that gets us Counterspell. Okay, that resolved. We can play Faithful into Arcane Mancer for Counterspell. Or hold up Counterspell. We only have 1 Counterspell regardless. Let's just deep analysis. So these 4 Faithful triggers are gaining us 1,000,000 billion life, but also costing us a lot of time. Seems like it's mostly costing our opponent time actually just clicking through the triggers. Let's deep analysis again. +1 life. Draw 2 cards. It's Preordain. They might not know about auto yields. We have Muldrifter and a Snap. I think both are good. And we're going to attack. We have to start closing the game out, that's for sure. Okay, they go to 19, 18, 17. They go to 17. We draw a card. They're going to Deadly Dispute something. Okay. I'm going to discard the Floodplain or the Strands. I just discard the Strands here in case of some nonsense. They snuff out my Arcane Mancer. I'll just snap it. And they're going to use a second removal spell on the Arcane Mancer. Okay. Pass the turn. They have 3 cards in hand. We can block all of their things again. Play Colony Garden. It's going to F6. I don't have anything going on. Might as well save time. They play an Ichor Wellspring and draw a card. So now they're at 31 cards in the library. It's turn 10. We're at 16 cards in the library. Need to find a flicker. Close the game out. Although we also were milling them a little bit. They're going to attack with everything, trying to take back the emblem. Just block with every single one of our faithfuls. Okay, they didn't have a response, I guess. Let's see what they do post board. Is it going to be Crypt Rats wipe the whole thing? Yikes. So that gets rid of my entire board, but they also get rid of their entire board. This could be Crypt Rats for 1, Crypt Rats for 2, just 1. Okay, weird. So if we had been able to discard the Prismatic Strands, we would have been able to block that Crypt Rats activation. Let's go Familiar. Draw 3 cards. I'm going to play the Chancery. I'm not going to pick up the Mortuary Mire this turn, because I'm hoping to draw into the Flicker. Let's go evoke this Drifter, or just snap your creature. Evoke the Drifter. You could also just cast the Drifter here, obviously. Draw. There's this Flicker. Snap the Drifter. Alright, and then we can go to the Archaeomancer. Just snap. Flicker here. Okay, get back Flicker. Get back Sagero. Say yes, and then we're going to go Drifter, Snap, Drifter. Or we can just, yeah, I think Drifter, Snap, Drifter is fine. Evoke this. Snap the Drifter. What happened here? Oh, we have it now. Okay. I just thought I didn't see the Sagero in my hand and something was weird was going on. Play the Sagero and Flicker. Okay. Did not get blown out by a Snuff Out. So now we're just going to Flicker again. And that will be the game. And we get to see their deck, which is nice. See what they're working with. The computer is chugging so hard. I don't understand why. So I will just pick that up once we've milled them out, I guess. Opponent gives me the GG. And I guess they're going to scoop here then. Okay. So what did we see? Fungal Infection, Blood Fountain, Snuff Out, Vampire. So this is just a Gardens deck with Packmates. So this is our second Gardens deck this league. Where were the mid-ranges yesterday? I was trying to play Poison. Alright, Prismatic Strands comes out. You can cut. Well, they're a little bit more aggressive, so I don't know if we definitely want the revokes, or a revoke. Counterspell is probably better than Snap. And we could maybe play a negate over a Faithful. But also do the same plan where we just cut the combo on 4 counterspells, a bunch of some negates and stuff. Faithful. Alright, let's see what happens with that. Just play the control deck. Okay, this is a pretty decent hand. We have counterspells for their Avenging Hunter and their Thorn. We want to just island into Preordain. Then I'll probably play the Chancery and pick up the island. Get rid of this. Top the Preordain. Pass. And then we'll start holding up Counterspell and making our land drops. They're going to Duress us, taking a Counterspell. Yep, they took the Counterspell. Is what it is. Very expected. We have 3 more. But now they know to not just jam their Avenging Hunter into it. Play Preordain. We're looking for card draw spells. Archaeomancer, Mire. Guess I'm going to bottom the Mire for right now. With the Archaeomancer on top. Play the Chancery and pick up this. When untaps. Let's see if they duress us again. Plays they're going to foretell their Packmate again. Play land and duress us. They'll play a Relic. Okay. Island. Pass the turn. We have double Snap now. We'll get rid of this preordain. They're going to do nothing. Interesting. They don't want to play into the counterspell. So here's the Packmate. Okay. Card. Island. Familiar. We can snap the Packmate and go for the Arcanemancer for the counterspell. Making them crack the Relic. And then if they tap out for the Avenging Hunter, we snap the Arcanemancer and counterspell it. So they're going to crack the Relic right now. Okay. That's the turn. We don't have any card draw spells, which is not great, but we do have counterspell and snap. Chainer's Edict, huh? I guess the Arcanemancer? They're not going to play Avenging Hunter this turn. Snap. That's the turn. There goes my Mancer and a snap. Darn. Let's just pass. Pick up my island. We need some card draw. That's for sure. Plays a Packmate. Okay. Yeah, this green-black deck is the new mono-black control, that's for sure. Okay, land, play familiar, pass the turn. We have nothing going on. Looking for Loriens. We've drawn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, really gonna relic me again? Okay. I get in for 3. 4 cards in hand and nothing else. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Play familiar. Another Chancery. Pick this up. We are making our land drops. That's for sure. I keep saying that. We're making our land drops, trying to just draw into something to draw cards. They play a Wellspring, so they're not flashing back the Chainer's Edict right now. We're holding up counterspell for the Monarchy or the Avenging Hunter. They play a land. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can't cast the Chainer's Edict right now. They get in. We've got a 14. Donk. Okay, my turn. Find a Modern Age. Finally, something to do. Modern Age is going to discard a Plains. Darn. Play land. Pass the turn. They're going to relic away our Plains. They're going to actually Deadly Dispute their Wellspring. That's pretty nice. Only Garden makes a plant. Okay. You're going to use your Relic? It seems like they forgot how to use the Relic. Get in for 3 and put us to 11. We didn't see Crypt Rats before, but they probably have it. We're super behind unless we draw something like Lorien into Muldrifter. Chainer's Edict again. Okay. 3 Chainer's Edicts in the graveyard. To be honest, I don't know why we're just doing nothing. Jeez. Okay, land go. Let's see if they play another Chainer's Edict. They might as well flash it back at this point. Play Wellspring. So if they play the Chainer's Edict flashback, I'm going to counterspell it and then play the Arcanemancer, try to get back counterspell, they'll crack their Relic, lose their other Chainer's Edicts. Get in for 3 and put us to 8. This Packmate is dealing us a ton of damage. So far it's dealt us 12. Just going completely uncontested. Wow. I mean, this is kind of insane. Okay, so the only card draw spells we've seen in 21 cards are 2 Preordains and 1 Modern Age. Just hanging out, doing literal nothing. I guess the only good part about it is that our clocks are winding down for both players, so we're going to have to play kind of quickly for the next game. We'll just try to stretch this one out as much as possible. It's turn 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We've made a land drop every single turn for 10 turns in a row. Drew all 3 of my Chanceries that are in the deck. They get in for 3 and put us to 5. More mana. 5 mana. Vampire Sovereign. I'm gonna have to counterspell. Pass the turn. Let's see if they play the Avenging Hunter right now. They're gonna relic away my Ash Barrens. 3 Edicts in the graveyard. Play Arcanamancer to try to get back the counterspell. They have to crack the relic. Snuff out the familiar. Return counterspell. Will you let me return it? Snuff out the Mancer. Return counterspell. They're gonna allow it. Okay. Familiar. Pass the turn. I'm still not gonna block. They'll probably try to do something. I honestly don't have anything going on. I'm just sitting here. Kind of crazy. Would have thought with the 2 Preordains we would have found something. They have a Bajuka Bog. Okay. What do they have in their hand? They've got to have something. Okay, get rid of this. They've played all 4 Chainer's Edicts. That's the turn. We're not totally dead because we could draw into stuff easily. We have a lot of decent top decks and a lot of terrible ones. Cast this Muldrifter. First Muldrifter is 24 cards deep. Wow. Poor Muldrifter. He's hiding. Faithful. Cast my Lorien Revealed. All my big cards were way too deep. Your turn. They're going to exile a card. Sure. We will attack. Now our opponent is probably just going to activate the Crypt Rats. That's the best play. They're going to snuff out my creature and then activate the Crypt Rats. All you have to do is activate Crypt Rats for 3. They're taking actions. They're not paying very much attention to their clock, though. They activate the Crypt Rats. So they're very heavy on relics. I'm going to bring in the second Revoke Existence. And then get rid of a Snap. Bring in the Sage Row. Get rid of the other 2 snaps. Bring in the Faithful. I've never tried removing all the snaps, but max counters seems okay. We're gonna play first. So if we draw a land, then this is probably great. So I'm gonna keep. We have 22 things that can get us lands. Let's go land, Preordain, looking for any land, or Lorien. You can cycle for the other land. They're keeping 6. Preordain and see what we see. Look for lands. Okay, top and top. Pass the turn. So we're going to go Floodplain, and then the next turn go Faithful Modern Age. They have 5 minutes to kill us. Can they do it? Not with an 0-1. Land. Pass. Alright, on turn 2, plays a Golgari Rot Farm, picking up their Colony Gardens, gives them another plant next turn. Only 2 mana available. We find a Muldrifter. Play Faithful into Modern Age, sorry, not Deep Analysis. I'm gonna discard the Revoke Existence because I want to be able to flashback the Deep Analysis next turn, and if they have a Bajuka Bog right here, then it will get rid of my Deep Analysis and I'll be dead in the water. So this turn I'm going to draw and discard the Deep Analysis and then play Preordain into Deep Analysis, I believe. If we draw just a land, we could discard the Deep Analysis, draw a Counterspell. There's 3 mana. Discard Deep Analysis. Let's draw 2. Okay, play Chancery, pick up the land, and then play a Preordain. So we use the blind draw first. I'm going to put these lands on the bottom. Find a Lorien Revealed. They play Llanowar. So they get to draw a card. Now they have 6 mana for their next turn. we get a creature on our turn, and then we can play Muldrifter, or we can play Familiar and hold up Counterspell. I think I'm just going to add to the board. Play Muldrifter, although that makes us discard. Let's play Familiar, and I guess pass. We have a lot of card draw in hand, so we could also cycle for an island, and then next turn play Muldrifter, holding up Counterspell. 2 mana. We go for a Duress. Just use the Counterspell. Plays a Llanowar. Okay. We can cycle the Lorien Revealed for an island. Well, it's probably better to do it on the next turn in case, because if I draw a land, I don't need to cycle it. But I do want to play the Archaeomancer for the counterspell. Alright, so we are going to cycle. I could have duressed my land. Real Oops All Spells feels from other formats. Play Archaeomancer, get back the counterspell. Pass the turn. Now we're just on defense. Play Colony Garden, so they get yet another plant. Are they going to attack? They could have a fungal infection. Window block here. If they have an Okiba Gang, then we can discard the Deep Analysis and the Drifter. Looks like they're going for the fungal infection. Not unexpected. So our Vector Glider gets eaten. If they cast a Monarchy or something, we have to counter it. Play the Wellspring, and we let that resolve. They have less than 3 minutes left. We can go Faithful into Cast Muldrifter, hold up Counterspell. Pass a turn. And we find a Sage Row. So we can start slow milling them maybe. 5 cards in hand for the opponent. Plays a Relic. Yeah, that's fine. For 4 mana, play Crypt Rats, which we will counterspell. Not interested. Now they cast the Avenging Hunter. But that's okay because we can attack with the Muldrifter. And then put our... No, we don't get counters this turn. They get a Swamp. So we're looking for like Ephemerate Snap. We don't have a... They can't use the Relic. They can't crack the Relic this turn. Let's cast Muldrifter. Draw some cards. Chancery. Play the Sage Row. Chancery. Pick up the Ash Barrens. And pass the turn, attacking with the Drifter. Now we get the initiative. So it just comes down to like what they have in hand. If they can take the initiative back or not. Get rid of Modern Age because we can't get it back ever. They have 3 attackers. What we can do is double block here with the Muldrifter and the Sage Row. Not sure if that's useful. Do you have Crypt Rats? They have a Vampire Sovereign. They're paying 3 mana, 4 mana, 5 mana, casting another Avenging Hunter. So let's cycle, grab an island, and pass the turn. We're looking for an Ephemerate or a Flicker. They have 1 minute left. They're going to move into Forge. It doesn't really matter at this moment. Like, what they should have done was play the Avenging Hunter post board, because then I might not have blocked and we could get both triggers. They attack for 7. I'm going to take it. We have a counterspell. Let's go Deep Analysis. Draw 2. We find a Flicker, so I can play the Modern Age. If we find a Familiar, we win. We didn't find it. We're going to go attack. They're taking it. Okay. Forge up my Faithful. Then we're going to Flicker. See if we can draw into a Familiar. Do the auto yield here and save targets on you. Maybe they just didn't want to choose anything. Okay, we don't have a snap. If we find a snap, we have infinite snaps. I wonder if that's worth doing. Let's deep analysis ourselves. Go to 10. Because I'm really looking for a snap here. That would win the game. We find a familiar. 1, 2. That doesn't win. Alright, I guess we have to pass. Discard the floodplain and the plains. An island. Chainer's Edict. Okay, this one. Right, they have a lot of power. They swing out. We're gonna go block, 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 block here. 7. This goes to 4, 5. Okay. And then what are they gonna do? Deadly Dispute. What? Okay. They give me the GG because they're gonna time out. GG. Alright. We were pretty close to actually comboing. I think we probably would have won here. This is 3, 5. They would have put us to 2. They could have Crypt Rats for 1, maybe. We would have lost this familiar, but gone the second familiar, and then, oh, we didn't have snaps in the deck. That's why we didn't have infinite snaps. Alright, next round. Round 4 versus Heterodox. Prolific Japanese player that basically told all the US people about Turbo Initiative. Hopefully he's not on this new Turbo Initiative nonsense. Looks like it's going to be not Turbo Initiative, but more like CawGate. So Deep Analysis and Island I'm going to keep. Play Squadron Hawk. I'm going to go land Modern Age Pitch Deep Analysis. Yeah, I think that's still fine. CawGate's okay. They're going to get rid of my Deep Analysis. No, my Modern Age. Okay. They don't want us to be able to block. Play Chancery. Pick up this. Cast this Modern Age. Let's discard the fetch land. Alright. They're going to Brainstorm. So they can use the Squadron Hawk. They're going to put back a bunch of Squadron Hawks, cast the Squadron Hawk again, draw Squadron Hawks. That shuffles after the Brainstorm. They go back up to 7 cards. So the Brainstorm is used as a super value play. Go back to, they're going to draw all with the 8. They draw up to 8 and discard the Prismatic Strands. Alright. We can snap this and play Lorien. Draw, discard. We're at 6 cards in hand. We snap this, go to 5. Play Lorien, go to 7. Snap. Or we can snap, play the Arcane Answer. But I think I'd rather just draw 3. Okay, so now we have Faithful Ephemerate. We also have Counterspell. They'll make their creature big. Attack for 4, 5 total damage. Right, another Faithful. So let's play Faithful. Cycle this one. Grabbing the Floodplain. Play that. And pass the turn. We're setting up some number of blocks. If we draw into a snap or an island next turn, we can snap them. They're going to journey, so let's counterspell the journey. Just use our mana, make them use their mana. They do nothing. Another journey on the Vector Collider, I guess. Okay. They swing in. They donk us. My turn. Another Faithful. Go Faithful, 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 Faithful. Deep Analysis. Gain 3, go to 12. So the most I could deal is 11, I think, on the next turn. Unfortunately, we didn't draw lands, but that happens. So they're going to hit us for 5. That's not great. We need an island. 6 damage. Okay. If they hit another Basilisk, we're dead. Okay, Familiar. Play Modern Age. So that gets us out of some of the damage. Draw. Discard an Arcane-Mancer. Play another Modern Age. Draw. I'm going to discard this Counterspell. Pass the turn. Next turn I can Drift or Ephemerate, most likely. Okay, they don't have another gate, or another Basilisk. They are going to make their Squadron Hawk gigantic. We got nothing, we're going to F6. We're looking for a snap. We could play Arcane-Mancer into snap, but we would need another snap to get past a potential... I'm going to discard the Lorien. Draw. Discard the Arcane-Mancer. Invoke this Mulldrifter. See if they have a counterspell. Counterspell. Invoke Mulldrifter again. Get to draw. Ephemerate the Mulldrifter. Draw the snap. I'm going to put back my Arcane-Mancer. Pass the turn. So now they need another Basilisk, and they need a Journey into Nowhere. That's 7 damage. We're just going to take it, because we're going to have 3 blockers next turn. Playing a Guardian of the Guild Pact. Okay. That's a lot of damage. We can't do anything about the Guardian, but it's pretty slow, pretty late in the game for that to matter that much. We have the Flicker and multiple Faithfuls. We just need a Familiar now. Let's go Faithful. Evoke this Drifter. Gain 4. Oh geez. Snap the Drifter. Tap, untap. Alright. Arcane-Mancer. Grabbing the Ephemerate. We have so much life. Ephemerate. Ephemerate the Arcane-Mancer. I think it's fine to snap their Hawk. Snap the Hawk. Tap, untap. Play a land. Go evoke this. Right a million life. And then that resolves, and now we get to Flicker. Put that on. And then we're going to discard the Prismatic Strands. So we're not worried. Getting back to Flicker. There's the Familiar. We just pass the turn. We have all 4 Faithfuls in play. Discard Strands and Ash Barrens. Now we can simply attack, and then hopefully we'll draw into the Sagero, but he concedes. Thank you very much. And we have the game locked up. So go to post board. Revoke existence. Don't really need the Strands. Don't think we need the Sagero either. Probably would rather have the negates than the counterspells. 2 negate, 2 counterspell. I like that, I think. Now we're here in game 2. I'm going to keep this. We only have a little bit of card draw with the Preordain. We have a Faithful to gain life. It's pretty sweet. Kiddo just got up. Trying to get ahead of the game, but we weren't fully ahead. Cycle for a Faithful, for a plane, so we can put the Faithful out. Now let's see if they are on Idyllic Beachfront, so they must be playing Lorien as well. The Beachfront is kind of nicer. Go for the Relic. Do you have a land drop? They do. Okay. Go Faithful into Preordain. We're lagging hard. We don't want the floodplain. Another Faithful is fine. They go Squadron Hawk. So I'm going to play Faithful, Plains, Familiar. Then next turn I can go Deep Analysis, Deep Analysis. If they don't journey me. Okay, Faithful, Plains. Play this Familiar. They also could have Pyroblast and like stuff like that Smash to Dust. Another Faithful, huh? Pass the turn. No sense in attacking. We're just going to yield until the next end step and cycle. You want to do the cycling on as late as possible so that the Relic they can't use on your turn and their turn still have it up. get in. They're holding up Counterspell, Red Blast. We're cycling for an island. They didn't eat it. It's just deep analysis. They Spell Pierce, we can snap the Squadron Hawk. This is why I love having deep analysis. I'm gonna Counterspell. Okay. So this is at minimum a 2 for 1. We wanted to get a 4 for 1. They relic my Ash Barrens. Okay. Pass the turn. We have Lorien, but we can't cast it right now. We got 1 Counterspell out of their hand, and they only have 4 in the deck, plus 4 or 6 Red Blast. They discard an Island and Brainstorm. So they're going to use the Squadron Hawk after the Brainstorm. Play the Squadron Hawk. Interesting that it didn't Red Blast the Deep Analysis. But if they're holding up the red mana, then I'm afraid to play the Lorien, because I don't want to get that countered. I want to get my full draw 3 value. Alright, draw. Counterspell. Okay. We can cast Lorien. If they go for a Red Blast, I'm going to snap a Hawk, just so that I don't get blown out by a Spell Pierce. Counterspell the Red Blast. Alright. Well, I got blown out by Dispel instead of Spell Pierce. In blue mirrors, the Lorien is a lot less good than Deep Analysis, that's for sure. We have 1,000,000 life, though. We just need to start drawing stuff that does stuff. But we haven't drawn any cards to draw cards, just the one preordained. Right? Oh no, in the Deep Analysis. Get in for 1. Pass the turn. I'm going to hold that in hand in case I draw into a Modern Age. Okay, all of our stuff is gone from our graveyard, which stinks. Pass the turn. Counterspell goes away. Maybe I should not even have the counterspell on. I should be on like negates only. Alright, now they have the gate. You can start swinging in for a bunch. This is 10 damage a turn. What do you think, Chance? Am I going to win against these birdies? Alright, they brainstorm. Draw Arcane Answer, which doesn't help. Snap your Hawk. And untap. Play Arcane Answer. If they have Red Blast, I'm just going to scoop it up. 2 mana. Remove Soul. That's fine, whatever. Didn't really work out for me here. Obviously, we need more counterspells. Snap probably can get cut. Question is if we want to bring in the counterspell or the Hydroblast. They showed us Red Blasts. Maybe we don't even worry about the relic and we just play through it. Bring more counterspells. Okay, we'd like to play first. Keep. Play Island. Pass the turn. Pass again. So we can play Modern Age and discard the Snap. Play the Familiar right now. Play the Familiar. Pass the turn. If they have a Journey to Nowhere, it's not great, because we don't have any Revokes or anything in the deck. 2 mana for a Modern Age. So we can play our own Modern Age. Draw. Discard a Snap. Play Faithful out. Play Island. Pass the turn. Let's see what they do. They're going to discard, or draw and discard again. They put a Sacred Cat in the graveyard. Now they're discarding a land. Playing another land. Play a Sacred Cat. So they're leaving up the possibility of playing a Dispel, but not, I don't know if they have Spell Pierce. I didn't see Spell Pierces before, so I'm just going to hope that they don't have a Spell Pierce here. I can resolve this Lorien Revealed. We draw a gate. So that means we're more likely to be able to resolve the Lorien on a different turn. I'm just going to cast it now. No Spell Pierce, perfect. Okay, there's a Vector Glider. And we're going to keep trying to make land drops. I really want to not have to cycle the Lorien for lands, though. Okay, there's a land. Grab an island. And then we're going to preordain. Just looking for cards to draw cards. Eventually, we draw enough cards to win the game. Counterspell and a negate. I think we bottom, and then we could top the negate, and then have double negate backup for the Lorien. We snap their creature, and then play Lorien with double negate. Okay, Basilisk Gate. They gate up the Vector Glider. That's fine. It's in. Sure. Now I believe I removed the combo, so I also have to attack. Let's snap their cat. Pass to Lorien. Draw some cards. If they tap out for a counterspell, I'll just respond for a counterspell. But they want for a red blast, so I will negate. They have the dispel. We have the negate. Draw 3. Alright, play the land. Pass again. So they can swing in for another 6. Now that's 7 damage in the air. We'll take the 7. No attacks. Or no blocks, I mean. Still probably can't attack, though. We're going to deep analysis. If they counterspell, we counterspell back. Nothing. Okay, play Chancery. Pick up this Ash Barrens. We want to cycle that now or just draw with deep analysis? Just going to draw. Holding up counterspell. We find an Archaeomancer. So we can Mancer and then snap their thing, and then hold up counterspells for the Vector Glider. Let's discard the Ash Barrens. They cast a Preordain. They haven't cast any Hawks yet. So their only creature right now is the Vector Glider. This is going to be 8 damage. But that's fine because we have Archaeomancer to snap with counter backup. And then if they let the snap resolve, we just counterspell the Vector Glider on the way down. We have a snap anyway. So snap this. Go for a counterspell. Counter back. And then we're going to untap. Play Archaeomancer. Grabbing the negate. And then we can play Lorien for 4, holding up negate. And attack. That's the turn. I don't think I care that much about the Vector Glider, I'm not sure. They play the Modern Age. I guess I'm going to negate it. I'm worried about a Journey to Nowhere having tapped out here. They had the second gate. Another Modern Age. They draw and discard. Let's see if they have a Guardian of the Guild Pact. Remove Soul gets discarded. There's the Journey to Nowhere. Probably on the Archaeomancer, that makes sense. So 1 Archaeomancer out of our deck. Find an Ephemerate. Let's play the Faithful and the Modern Age. We get to draw. We could Ephemerate an Archaeomancer or a Muldrifter. Discard the planes. Play the Floodplain. Let's pass and attack. Yeah. Now, if they do eventually get the Modern Age online for attacks, we can just block and flicker it. Play a Relic, so I'm going to counterspell that at this point in the game. And pass the turn. We're going to draw, discarding a card. This one. Play Familiar. The Chancery. Pick up this. And swing. See what we draw. I don't know if I want to actually use the Ephemerate yet on the Vector Glider. So now they have an attacker. And they preordain. I don't know what they did with the preordain. Find a Hawk. Because now they have a million attackers. They went top bottom so that they had seen the Hawk on the attack. Oh, so this is plus 14 to whatever their damage is. We really are looking for a flicker, or I mean a drifter. Draw. So we get a second Modern Age. Play the Floodplain. I don't know if I should play it. because I'm planning on blocking and flickering. So I'll draw two, draw two. Let's just pass. They have 3 Squadron Hawks in hand. Okay, they make huge creatures. This is like, what, almost 20 damage. Block and block. And then cast a flicker. Alright, so now we get to loot away some stuff. Draw, discard the floodplain, discard the plains. We find a Modern Age. Pass the turn. We're at 15. Draw, discard the Chancery. Find a Muldrifter. Draw, discard Modern Age. Let's go Preordain. Undo. Okay, there we go. Preordain. We go to 17. Looking for a counterspell. Find another Muldrifter. Bottom, top. Evoke this Drifter. They have a counterspell. Evoke another Drifter. They have to have Red Blast in hand. They don't have the Red Blast. That was luck. Whew. Okay, Ephemerate. Now we have counterspell. Okay, so now we have infinite life with the flicker. Land. Flicker. Play Archaeomancer. Grab the flicker. Ephemerate here. Grab the negate. Wherever it is, there we go. And then flicker. And we got it locked up. We have the GGs. See you in the next match. We're here in round 5 versus Frou-Frou. What does that mean? We have Strands. I'm gonna keep. We don't know what they're up to. We can island and pass, and then cycle, and then that'll allow us to know what's going on before we actually use our Preordain. GN42 likes to say to use your Preordains as late as possible. Snow-covered island, that means probably fairies. Fairy Seer, so definitely fairies. So we're looking for the Modern Age, we're looking for our Godfar's Faithfuls. They went bottom, which means that they kept a 1-lander, most likely. Or they were looking for a ninja. I think I'm still going to grab an island here. Okay, we do draw a Faithful. So if I had gotten the plains, we would have been able to play it out this turn. Snap and the Ash Barrens. We don't want the Ash Barrens. And the Snap can be very good against this deck. Play the Chancery, and we'll pick up the island. And then go for the Faithful on the next turn. If they tap 2 mana to play a Ninja the Deep Hours, we're going to have to play Faithful and snap it, I think. And then maybe evoke a Muldrifter just to get onto the table. Alright. Unfortunately, they didn't tap their mana, so they're leaving open a Spellstutter Sprite, but now it looks like they're playing something. Plays a Fairy Seer. So let's see. Maybe they're just looking for lands. They went 1 top, 1 bottom. We find another Faithful. So let's play Faithful. Island. We could also cycle the Lorien Revealed right now for the other land. What are they waiting on here, huh? Weird. Cycle the Lorien Revealed, and we could get the other land, but I think it's probably not worth it since we already have land drops lined up. So if they tap out, we can snap a creature and play the Muldrifter. They're getting in. Not tapping out, though. Alright, let's go land. Play Deep Analysis. That's why I love Deep Analysis, because it's pretty good in the face of counterspells. In this case, it's pretty ungood versus like Spell Pierce or a Force Spike. That would feel kind of bad. But at least it trades as a 2-for-1. They're going to use a Force Spike. Fun. So this next turn we can cycle for the Plains Island, play it, and then play out this Deep Analysis again. They're going to attack for 2. We take the 2 damage. So once again, if they do tap out, we can just play out their Muldrifter or the Lorien, but they're not tapping out. Cycle. Our opponent is just taking an absurd amount of time for every action. Right after 90 seconds, they let me fetch my floodplain so I can play it. And I will cast a Deep Analysis. Then I'm going to F6. So this doesn't get got by Force Spike. They can counterspell it. They cast a counterspell. We're going to start slamming Mulldrifters, I think. Brine Barrow, Intruder. Okay, you have an Intruder. That doesn't do very much. They wanted to get the of one mine online. That makes sense then. So we could potentially go Faithful to bait the Spellsetter Sprite. They play the Spellsetter Sprite. We'd lose the Faithful, but then we can snap something and play the Mulldrifter. They've used one Force Spike. I imagine they have a couple more of those. And also Preordain. Let's cast a Preordain. They're going to let that resolve. So let's go Familiar and Mortuary Mire. Just evoke this Mulldrifter, leaving open the white mana in case they counterspell it, but we play the Mortuary Mire after evoking it, and then we can cast it again next turn. If they counterspell, then we get to play the Faithful and Mortuary Mire it back, and we got a counterspell out of the deck. So our opponent gets confused and plays a Spellsetter Sprite attempting to counter the Mulldrifter, which does not work. They learn their lesson, so maybe that's what they were thinking about. Okay, we draw some cards. If we draw an Ephemerate, we can Ephemerate it, but we don't draw an Ephemerate. So here I'm going to play the Familiar, pass the turn, since they don't have the Spellsetter Sprite up. They're attacking with everything, so we're going to block the Brine Barrow with the Faithful, because the Brine Barrow could get hit with the Mutagenic and kill the Familiar. Here comes a Ninja, Moon Circuit Hacker. So they deal us 2 damage. I'm going to cast this Lorien Revealed. Yeah, cast that. Kind of expect a counterspell. If they don't have counterspell, it's great. We can pay for Spell Pierce. Or Force Spike, obviously. Nice. Alright, play Mortuary Mire. Say yes. Pass the turn. And then I'm going to leave open the Snap, I guess. Block the Hacker with the Faithful. Familiar on the Brine Barrow. Block, block. We know they have Spellstar Sprite in hand. They're going to Muta. They're not going to Mutagenic. They are going to Muta. So I'll attempt to snap my Faithful. We don't want to snap their Hacker because then they can reuse it. We assume they're going to cast the Spellsetter Sprite here. Spell Pierce? Okay. Spellsetter Sprite, 2 unknowns. Second Mutagenic. Last card in hand is a Spellsetter Sprite. 1, 2, 3. Okay. I'm going to preordain first. It's fine if they stutter that. Interesting that they're playing Force Spike and Spellsetter. So let's bottom, top the counterspell. Play Faithful plus counterspell. And then we can Prismatic Strands. Or just cast our Mulldrifter here. Slam the Drifter. We're going to have to get hit by this Moon Circuit Hacker one time, I think. Play Chancery. Picking up the Mortuary Mire. Pass the turn. We actually could just block the Hacker with the Mulldrifter and then get the Mulldrifter in the graveyard. Discard the plains. That might be the way to go. Then they're just blind drawing. Pass the turn. We'll trade. Mortuary Mire. Get back the Mulldrifter. Yes. We have double counterspell actually. So Faithful. Didn't notice we had double counterspell, that's sweet. And play Familiar. Counterspell your Spellstutter Sprite. Okay. You have another Spellstutter Sprite? Sorry, buddy. You have a second Counterspell. So let's see what they draw. That was a pretty good hand from them, but it was also pretty good from us. They get in, they block with the Faithful on the Brine Barrow. Let's see if they top decked a Ninja. Probably just attack with everything. I'm going to be sad if they have a Ninja here. No Ninja, okay. Let's cast a Muldrifter. Resolves? Question mark? It does. Sweet. So our opponent's kind of hosed now. Let's go Modern Age. We can discard the Prismatic Strands now. They seem like they have nothing going on. Then we can snap and replay the Muldrifter. Snap Drifter. Now they F6'd. Cast a Drifter. They have Flood. Familiar. I guess we could Flicker here, but probably not a great idea, because they could have another Spell Pierce. You can see that even with 19 lands, we're not really having any issues. Just because we can get those Loriens online, and since we're a relatively slow deck, it's not that big of a deal. Alright. No attacks for the opponent. Oh, okay. Swing everything. We're going to block the Fairy Seer. And then block the Brine Barrow. And if they go for a Ninja, I'm going to use the Prismatic Strands. Prismatic Strands on blue. Pass the turn. We get to draw a card on our turn. And they scooped it up. Got him. Yeah, the Modern Age, that's where we want to be. Just wrecking mono blue. All I want to do is beat mono blue. Do. So we're bringing in our Last Breaths as more removal spells for their ninjas. I think we're fine in this position. We could also play, like, cut one Ephemerate for negate and go 2 counterspell, 2 negates. Because negates are kind of expensive. Let's submit it that way. I mean, the counterspells are kind of expensive with the two mana. But being able to counterspell a Spellstutter Sprite is pretty important. We're on the draw. We have a turn 2 Faithful. We also have Drifter Ephemerate, or one of Ephemerate. I'm going to keep it. We also have the Modern Age, which is an extremely important part of this kind of game. Our opponent's on 14 minutes. We've used 5. We get a turn 1 Faithful. That's awesome. They can't Spell Pierce it, but they could Force Spike it. And now if they have Brine Barrow Flash, they can't use it. There's a Force Spike. Disappoint. I'm going to hold up a counterspell. We're going to go land, Modern Age. Cannot Spell Pierce or Spell Stutter it. They play a counterspell. Okay. Our opponent is doing quite well for themselves right now. So I probably want to cycle for 2 islands and then Preordain, and then hope they tap out so we can Drifter Ephemerate. They went top bottom. Grab an island. There we go. Get another island. So you can see how being on the draw here really hosed us. Like if we were on the play, we would have resolved this Faithful. Okay. I'm going to top both of these. On this upcoming turn, we can see what they do. If they fully tap out, we could play Archaeomancer, or we can Drifter Ephemerate. If they don't fully tap out, we can Archaeomancer for the Preordain. Then we'll have a blocker for like a 1-mana Ninja, the 2/1. If they have Ninja the Deep Hours, it's really bad for me. They Hacker. So I think they're probably going to play the Fairy Seer. We know they have Mutagenics and stuff. They're not going to play the Fairy Seer. They are going to play the Fairy Seer. Top, bottom. I'm going to play out the Archaeomancer for the Preordain. And then plan on blocking the Ninja. And then just slamming Drifter and then slamming Drifter again. And then hoping that that's good enough. Cast an Of One Mind. That's a very good draw for them. You get a Divination. What are you going to do, opponent? 3 cards in hand. They attack with just... not the ninja. We're going to block the Brine Barrow. So now they have a big ninja. Okay. Will you play the Fairy Seer? They do. So now we can resolve Drifter Ephemerate. So we could go land, evoke Drifter. If we draw into us, we did draw the snap. Let's preordain first. Okay, good. Do I want the land? No, I guess. Bottom, top this. Go land, Sunscape Familiar. Snap the Ninja the Deep Hours for tempo. Snap that off. Then we're going to untap these two, evoke and ephemerate the Drifter. That was a really good draw, having it familiar on top there. Just ephemerate this Mole Drifter. Now we have blocks. Our opponent is kind of behind now. They have to have a mutagenic to push through or a snap. They're going to get in with everything, so we're going to block with everything. I'm going to force them to use the mutagenic. Block, block, block. We have Counterspell for the Spellstar Sprite that's on the Ephemerate Rebound. They can't ninja the Deep Hours right now. But they could have mutagenics. They're going to kill the Mole Drifter at minimum. Mole Drifter is dead. Okay. So we always yield to the Ephemerate, and then we're going to spew, not spew, but just a pew pew on our K-Mancer. Mancer. Expecting Spellstutter Sprite here. They didn't have it. Get back the Ephemerate. Play Familiar. So they can ninja again here. I'm going to play the Familiar. Spellstutter Sprite. Counterspell. Okay, that's going to resolve. Then we can just Mortuary Mire back the Muldrifter and pass the turn. So they are going to be able to get a Ninja the Deep Hours into play, but from here on out we have blocks. They're going to draw 1 card and put us to 13. Snap on a Familiar, okay. So you have another Spellstutter in hand or something? Once again, we can go block and block. They want to kill my Familiar, it looks like. You have another mutagenic growth? No, just ninja. Okay, F6. They cast a Fairy Seer. So, what do we want to do? I think we just go Familiar into Muldrifter. And then we can play the Modern Age, maybe? Of 1 mind. 1 more land. They cast a Spire Golem. That's a good card to have for them. We can just exile their Spire Golem and then play a Muldrifter. Or we can play Familiar, play Muldrifter, play Modern Age. I think just adding to the table is better. Cast his Muldrifter. Another Snap, great. Okay, so play that. Chancery. Pick up the Bounce Land. Or the Mortuary Mire, I mean. Go ahead and snap the Spire Golem. Untap these two. Now we can Drifter Ephemerate, or we can Ephemerate for Counterspell, or we can just cast a Muldrifter. Also snap, I'm going to Ephemerate the Arcane-Mancer, then snap, and then not really have the blue mana. So let's just cast Drifter. Pass the turn. They're very behind. There's no way. I think we're going to get it. Famous last words, right? Famous last words. Frou is ready. So there's Spire Golem in hand and 4 unknowns. Swings with the ninjas. I'll block. They cast a Spire Golem. Hard cast a Moon Circuit Hacker. Not that useful. So we're going to go Mortuary Mire. Get back Muldrifter. And then cast a Modern Age. If they Spellstutter Sprite, I'm going to Last Breath the Spellstutter Sprite. Draw a card. discard an island. Go ahead and invoke the Mulldrifter. They have a counter spell, so we can negate that. Drifter's going to resolve. And we can just flicker it, I guess. Draw. Okay, we have snap again, but we don't have a land we can play. Might as well snap the Spire Golem again. Untap, untap. Go ahead and last breath this Fairy Seer. Ephemerate. This. Get back negate. And just flicker a bunch of times. Draw a bunch of cards. Let's just draw more cards. Or we could snap again. Snap this Hacker. Tap, untap. Play a Familiar. Go ahead and draw a bunch more cards. Your turn. Now we have the Arcane-Mancer, so we can just flicker for last breath and eat all their stuff, and then it's game over. Game over. Eventually attack. Okay, we got the 5-0. Boom. Familiars is the best deck again. Let's go. What did we even play against? That was a long league. 2 Gardens. A burn deck, I believe. Gardens, CawGate, burn deck, mono blue. I think we are in a good spot. If you are interested in playing Familiars, check out the Patreon, patreon.com/calicais. Join the Discord, ask me questions, check out the other videos. I also have the how-to, which is pinned on the YouTube channel, and there's a lot of documentation on this deck. It's a really, really fun deck to play, and get to do a lot of actions, which is always super sweet. Thanks for joining. We'll see you in the next video.